Hey friends, it's Laura. This is an impromptu video. I am going on a trip tomorrow. I'm going away for 2 weeks. I'm going to Milan and Rome. So I'm very excited about that. For 2 weeks, my plants well, okay, they don't need prep. Probably if I walked out the door tomorrow, they would be fine. Might lose some leaves, but you know, I want to spoil them. I want to make sure that they are perfectly comfortable even though I'm not here to take care of them. I was originally thinking I would just get someone to come in after a week and like water the plants and just check on them. And I was thinking I would like label the ones that need water to make sure that my friend would be okay. But it's almost like more work for me and for them. It's really cold here, so I'm gonna turn my water off while I'm gone. So then I would have to like pre-fill jugs of water. It's doable for sure. And if I was going for a month, I would do that. But I feel like for 2 weeks, they're okay if I just do some prep. Anyway, that's what I'm doing right now, and I figured why not make a video. I kind of have in my head like 3 categories of plants. Plants that will be totally fine, like succulents, cacti, things like that are gonna be totally fine. I don't need to do anything. Second category is ones that perhaps I can put in my cabinet. The cabinet, of course, keeps things more humid, and so the plants in the cabinet I actually water way less than plants out of the cabinet. They just have really humid conditions in there, so they don't need to be watered as much. Third category is plants that I do need to figure out a solution for watering. Like they're not gonna fit in the cabinet and I would like them to have some humidity. I have some ideas, but anyway, I'm gonna be figuring this out as I go. If I come home and they're all dead, then obviously this video was not a great preparation video and you should not do what I'm about to do, but we'll see. I'm gonna get started. All right, I have my coffee. I am ready to get started. I think I'm just gonna like go through plant by plant. I will be thinking as I go. My huge Raphidophora, I think I only water it like once every 2 weeks anyway, and I just gave it a good watering last night, so I think she's okay. Now over here is where I get like a little bit nervous. My Moonlight, honestly, I don't water it. I water it like barely every 2 weeks, like maybe every 10 days. So I think I'm gonna just leave it out here. Cebu Blue is gonna go in the cabinet just because it's so small. It does dry out a little bit faster than my other plants. So that's gonna go in the cabinet. My turtles are not gonna go in the cabinet. I water my string of turtles like once a month. So these guys are totally fine at home. Okay, my Monstera Peru probably would be okay. For 2 weeks, but I am in love with this plant right now. So I'm gonna put it in the cabinet because I wanna spoil it and I just don't wanna risk any leaf loss or anything like that. Same with my Scindapsus. Honestly, my Scindapsus did nothing for so long and now it has really taken off. So I'm gonna put this in the cabinet as well. I just don't want it to lose any progress. It's been doing so well. So I'm gonna put it in the cabinet because there it will have tons of humidity. Won't dry out, won't lose any leaves. This one is really prone to losing leaves if you let it dehydrate too much. Over here is a shelf of mostly succulents, 2 Hoyas. There's a Hoya retusa here. It's actually blooming. Yay. Oh, it's dropping some blooms. This begonia in a jar is totally fine. That's the joy of growing things in jars. Some more succulents and cacti, and Hoya australis lisa, that is totally fine without water for 2 weeks. So this shelf, easy, they're just gonna stay here. The lights are off right now, but the lights are on timer, so they'll actually get tons of light while I'm gone too without me having to turn it on, which makes me so happy. On this lower shelf, again, another succulent, that's gonna be totally fine. Back here, I'm actually growing some anthuriums from seed, which is very exciting. But anyway, these will be fine because they're in their little cups. They'll stay humid. Stramanthe, I guess, should go in the cabinet. Honestly, I really don't love this plant, but yeah, maybe it should go in the cabinet to stay humid. Little succulents. Okay, this is just a prop, which is totally fine out here. My Periso Verde, which refuses to variegate, I think I'm gonna just keep out here. I don't water it that often, and apparently a little bit of a drought might increase variegation. I'm gonna leave this out here, although I do so nervously. I'm gonna leave it out here. And there's another begonia under a humidity dome, and that will be totally fine because it just recycles its water. These also have a light strip, so these will be getting tons of light while I'm gone too. I think this little philodendron, it's tiny, so maybe I should put it in the cabinet. I find it just doesn't need as much water as other philodendrons, and I have overwatered it a few times. You know, I'll just leave it out here. I think it'll be fine. Hoya will be fine. Philodendron micans is finally like thriving. I don't want this to get too dry. Okay, this one's gonna go in the cabinet as well. I'll just see if I can fit everything in the cabinet. We're like increasing our numbers. This one, because it's in a bigger pot, I think I'll just leave out here. Terrariums are fine. Prince of Orange. I think Prince of Orange will be okay. Silver Sword, like when Silver Sword gets too dehydrated, it does drop leaves pretty quickly, I find. But I just think it's such a big plant. It's gonna be hard to fit it into, well, it won't fit in the cabinet, but I could maybe put it in a garbage bag. I'll come back to this. Okay, and up here is Peperomia Hope. That will live forever without any water. And a lipstick plant, same thing. I watered that yesterday. She'll be fine. Marble Queen, Pothos will be fine. Now, when we get down here, these are the plants that I'm a little bit worried about. These are super hardy plants, my Gloriosum and Ploumanii. They're super hardy, but I would feel so sad if they did drop a leaf. So I'm going to be putting them into a DIY greenhouse situation, which of course I will show you. Now, Aglaonema are fine. I actually combined my two Aglaonemas because I felt like it. So they're fine, they'll be good. Those are such hardy plants. String of Hearts, of course. Like never water this plant anyway. Terrarium, Philodendron Florida. Maybe I should put it in a garbage bag as well. So big though. I think she might just have to stay there. All right, so my cabinet is actually not too full right now. Yesterday, I actually went through and cut off all of the dying leaves on my alocasia, or like leaves that were pretty damaged. My anthurium had a really damaged leaf as well. I actually went through and cut them all off. The reason was, one, I knew I was gonna have to fit in more plants. The other reason is, and again, this is my own like plant paranoia, is that some of the plants had what probably was just fertilizer burn, but I was a little bit worried that it could be like a virus or something, and if I'm not here, I can't keep an eye on whether that's spreading to other plants. So this is like extreme plant planning. We won't call it paranoia, we'll call it planning. So I just cut off those leaves because on the very small chance that it was some type of virus that could contaminate other plants and I wouldn't be here to watch, I cut them all off. I think I will be able to fairly easily fit my other plants in there, which is great. Right now, so this side is 87% humidity, this side is 88% humidity, which is awesome. I normally run fans in here, like every day I turn these little tiny fans in there, there's little pink fans in there, and then there's a timer that turns off the fan. But because these fans just, for whatever reason, you have to manually turn them on. It's like the way the button works. So the timer doesn't turn them on, which means that while I'm gone, the fans won't be running, which again makes me a little bit nervous because when you don't have a fan in like a greenhouse or anything, you can get some mold, you can get some like fungal issues. So I'm gonna leave the doors of the cabinet ever so slightly open just so there's a little bit of airflow, but hopefully it still stays fairly humid. Again, guys, like I don't really know what I'm doing, but it's okay. It's fun to experiment. That's kind of the joy of plants. Calathea in there, this Tremonti. I feel like I don't care. I put in all the plants that I could. This one's gonna have to stay out. Pretty crammed in there, but I think it will be fine. I've left the door like a crack open. Maybe I'll close it a little bit more. I don't know, just so there's airflow. Over here is pretty full as well, but I think it will be fine. I think it will be great. I'm leaving this like a little bit open as well. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. And maybe I'll just leave this Tremonti like not under a grow light so it'll dry out more slowly. Over here I have my dragon's tail. This one will be fine. I gave it a really good drink last night. My painted lady, same thing. Like I actually overwater this plant more often than not. So probably she'll be relieved that I'm not giving her water for 2 weeks, she'll be like happy. And my neon pothos, same thing. I gave her a huge drink last night. She'll be totally fine. All right, this part is the like experiment part. I learned, well, the internet taught me that if you create like a greenhouse for your plants using a clear plastic bag, you know, as they transpire their water, it will just stay in the bag and keep your plant humid enough to survive. Now, that's kind of like the same idea with the cabinet, so it does make sense. I've never done that. And these are actually, they're not garbage bags, they're like the compost bags. If you have like green pickup, like compost pickup, these are those bags because that's what I have, and I know that at least I can reuse them. But we'll see if they work. Joel said like, what if they get so humid that they disintegrate? But I feel like they don't disintegrate when they're in the compost bin, so I don't think that's gonna be an issue. Anyway, these are all just concerns that I have. So these are my 2 plants that I think like would benefit from this. So I'm gonna just put it in the bag. Hopefully, like I kind of worry that if the bag is touching a leaf, that could create like a viral or fungal issue. If they love the humidity, they might actually do better when I'm gone. That would be sad. I have these bamboo stakes that I thought maybe I should put one in. That way like it would hold the bag up. Bothers me that it's touching the leaves though. At the same time though, it is only 2 weeks. Okay, something like this. Oh my goodness. Okay. I wonder if I should just leave them out. This is an emotional. I hope I don't regret it. I'm doing it. The website that I saw this on was actually a website for like snowbirds. People that go to warm places in the winter and leave their Canadian cold life behind. And of course, if you have plants, you would want them to live. And apparently snowbirds do this for, like they leave their plants like this for 6 months. So it has potential, but you know, the internet sometimes makes things up. Okay, this one kind of leans forward, so I'll try and, I think the stake though is a good idea. I wonder if I should put the Stramonti in this bed now. Okay, well, they'll be fine. The reason you use a clear bag, of course, instead of just a black garbage bag is so that light can still get in a little bit. These are not completely like clear, but they are transparent, so I think they'll be fine. I'm gonna leave these here on my coffee table because they will get light from the window and they're gonna be great. I just heard my laundry's done. I got stuff to do. So I will see you guys when I'm back from my trip. I feel good about this. I hope it's fine. And if it isn't, they are just plants. Yeah. See you guys. See you soon.